should we be worried na may biglaan nagkaroon ng konting boost or boom ngayon sa coaching? Anong stand nyo dyan?
Ilang opinion ko man, may opinion there is, syempre, ang pinaka-ideal situation is quantity over quality.
Yes.
So this is the Garbage Points podcast. Join us in our first pilot episode. What is the Garbage Points podcast? Heads up lang kayo for each and everyone na manunod sa amin. We are all students of the game. So we assure you that this isn't your typical podcast or whatnot. So we will try to talk about topics and issues in the game to the best of our abilities and based on our experiences as coaches. In the process of talking about basketball, we hope that our audience can be educated and broaden their knowledge in the game and even expand in topics within the sport itself. Also, we hope to invite in the future local coaches and coaches from the big leagues to further enhance our conversations. We have many primary info for you in the next episodes as we try to take opinions from model coaches, quote-unquote model coaches, elsewhere, and that this pilot episode is just the tip of the iceberg. But before we get started with our very first topic for this podcast, siguro let us introduce ourselves one by one. So with that, I'll hand over the pleasantries to Coach Gap.
Okay, thank you, Coach Mark. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or whatever time you're watching this or listening to our podcast. So, my name is Antonio Gabriel B. De Vera. Some may or may know or call me as Coach Gab. Together are my colleagues. So, we've been working and known each other for quite some time now. So, for me, I've been coaching for almost 6 years. I'm currently the strength and conditioning coach and the assistant coach ng college team namin dito sa Ateneo de Naga. And also, I am the associate coach ng high school team ng Ateneo de Naga.
So yeah, I'm Coach Nuki, the current coach of the Ateneo Golden Knights, but we are also coaching in the other leagues here in Bicol, and I'm coaching for the past 10 years now, and I've been to the basketball community for more than 20 years, and still playing active, and same basketball nerd with my colleagues here, sitting the gentlemen of basketball world from searching online and doing it ourselves. So, kaya nandito podcast na to because we want to share our expertise, our knowledge to other coaches, not only from Bicol and to the whole Philippines and maybe all the Filipinos abroad. So, hopefully we can be a nice sharer of knowledge to all of you.
And siguro, last but not the least, ako, Coach Mark Vasquez. So, just like Coach Gab, I work under Coach Nuki in the college basketball program as an associate coach. Also, a consultant in the senior high school. I was the head coach before. Bago ko pinamana kila Coach Gab yung coaching reins. Day job is I work as a teacher in college. I'm part of the philosophy department. We've been together, that's correct, we've been together for quite some time. I got to know coaching and everything about coaching under the tutelage of Coach Nuki and this program. Been coaching for like 6-7 years, I'm not really sure. Right around that. Most probably, some of our opinions are valid, perhaps others just opinions out in the blue. So
Okay, so thank you, Coach Mark and Coach Nuki. So now that we're all settled in, I guess this is the right time now to tackle the topic that we have agreed upon for the past week. So yung topic natin for everyone's sake, it is a coach's job. How do you say that a coach has done a good or great job? So let's try to tackle the topic into three categories. So we have the grassroots level, and then after the grassroots level, let's try to talk about the high school to college level, and finally after that, let's try to talk about the semi-professional to the professional level. So let's talk about grassroots first. Let's start off with the coach who has the most experience on the table, Coach Nuki. So para sa'yo, how can you say that a coach has done a good or great job under the grassroots level?
There's so many coaches that have popped out after pandemic, so it's not only the leagues. You can compare it with the numbers of league right now. Even in my age at the 40 up division, I guess we have so many leagues than the open tournaments. We always overlook the value of coaching in the grassroots where it all begins. I myself did not experience the right coach when I was growing up playing this beautiful game. My only mentor is my older brother, which is older than me with about 20 years. But it's not a scientific kind of teaching or technical teaching. He is basing only on his knowledge, on his experience to the game. When I teach in the grassroots, even when I was college, I'm always volunteering to teach in the grassroots. I have the privilege because my day job is an animator, a graphic designer, so I'm always on the screen. Screen meaning I'm always in the internet. I always watch the game live or replays. Then we have the tutorials that we can see in the YouTube and even in all the social media platforms, which are not available maybe 20 years ago, on the 90s. We rely on books, we rely on experience, the one that will teach us in the grassroots. So it is important that we can honestly say that we are effective, Coach Gab, we are effective in teaching grassroots, not only because of winning. We are effective. Number one is your players are doing well, not only in the court, but they are developing the right attitude that they got from the discipline that the coach is implementing. Number two, the fundamentals of the game are not forgotten. If it's just a simple layup, if that's the only thing that they will do in the 2 hours practice, that's the layup, then that's a fundamental. That's a good fundamental. And then the next practice, if they mastered it already, at least as a famous trainer, basketball trainer, that 1% daily. If you can do that daily basis, then that's okay. So for me, you can be called as a great. We cannot say that successful because basketball is growing. It never stops. The little victories that you can share to everyone on social media, on the round table like this, that you have made a good job in training the kid. Because number one is he is disciplined. He has the right attitude towards the game, towards a person, especially in the house. It all begins in the house. If he is a bad person in the house, he is a bad person in the real life. You cannot hide it. So if you can influence because of basketball, you can discipline him to be a good person. You can change the bad habits. Then I can say that you did a good job for that. And the fundamentals will come next after you implemented the discipline. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Coach Nox. Naman siguro, Coach Mark.
Sa akin naman, I agree totally with what Coach Nuki said. I don't know, coaches, if you share the same idea of grassroots when we talk about grassroots age bracket.
Let's try to put it into context. When we say grassroots, let's put it on the ages of 6, the ages of 12.
We have campers with this 6,
Yes.
4.
4 years
As early as 4.
As early as 4 years old. So yeah, we can consider that as grassroots. From the word itself, grassroots. In my opinion, this is the most crucial part. Not only in the game of basketball, but in the aspect of sports. Because at this point, you want to get the optimal focus of the child to be interested in the sport itself. So, a coach's job in this category, the grassroots program, is really very important. How can we say that a coach has done a great job in the grassroots program? I agree with Coach Nuki. So first one is attitude, because if you weren't able to get the optimal attention of the child, not only attitude. When we talk about attitude, it's the right attitude. I don't remember who said this, but I remember someone telling me this na when you're trying to coach grassroots program, it's not only the child that you're training. It's also the parents of the child that you want to train. Kasi kung maputol yung interest ng parents, sino yung magpupusa sa bata na mag-basketball? Kasi at this age, medyo hindi pa coordinated yung yung bata, di
Yeah.
ba? Kasi yung sa anatomy siguro, sa physical conditioning, But we try to instill the fundamentals like the layup, the shooting. We have different opinions with regard to what is the best skill to develop first. That's another topic in itself. Diba? What is the best skill to develop
Agree.
first
Yeah.
in order to create a well-rounded player? Well, I argue that the first thing we need to develop is shooting because that's the most fundamental. And as I was saying, that's the skills part is something that a player can improve on progressively as he or she grows. Kasi his physical capabilities changes as well. So, that's the technical aspect. Anyone can be a good trainer. But not everyone can demand attention. So, I think that's the most important thing as well. To get the attention of the child, impart positive attitude towards the game, as well as not only training the child, but also the ward or the parents of the child to support the child in his sports journey. Para sa standard ko sa a coach that does a great job in the grassroots program.
Hey, so
Yeah, I can add,
sure, coach.
yun. So, while Coach Mark is mentioning about parents, I forgot to say about the relationship of, because that's not only the player is your client, right? Your client also are the parents. That's it's like for me a 1-1 situation, meaning you have a good relationship also with the parents and a good communication to them, because if not, I don't know if it's any single coach are coaching. I think meron pa naman that are coaching in the grassroots. That's for free, right? That's for free. Wherein you're lending your time for 2 hours and you're just teaching them for free. And even on the weekdays, may games, pang time na sa family mo, ipupunta mo pa dyan sa games for free. I don't know if, meron pa naman siguro.
Pwede,
Meron
coach.
pa naman siguro.
Maybe.
And I will be proud kung meron pa tapos consistent. Kasi madali lang naman sabihin na meron, pero hindi consistent. So, to bottom point is, marami ng coaches na syempre may mga money involved na enrollment fee like that. So, sino magbabayad yun? Because it's the parents. So, you have to give a good relationship with the parents. Hindi mo lang sasabihin doon sa camper mo na ito yung programa mo, pero dapat i-explain mo din sa parent mo kung ano yung program ka. Especially pagdating sa mga laro. May parent dyan na mangingialam talaga. So, that's another character that you will be exposed. How will you respond to that kapag yung parent nangingialam sa coaching? So, yan yung isa pa sa hirap na tinatahak ng mga grassroots coaches. But, it boils down to many parts din. Kasi may mga parents din na sinama lang din yung anak, libre lang din, pero yung pa yun magaling, expect yung parents din. May mga ganun. Pero yung mga mayayaman and can pay well, expect mo doon manggagaling yung sometimes hindi natin gusto, criticism, kahit ikaw pa yung coach ng anak nila, ganun. Pero I think last month, may nakita tayo, Coach Gab, na podcast din, nakalimutan ko yung pangalan, na yung success para sa kanya is you to develop the players. He never minds about the result of the game, pero ang gusto niya, ma-develop yung players niya, na yung fundamentals, nagkakaroon ng magandang attitude, right attitude. So para sa kanya, yun yung winning. 'Di ba? Kung ang ball clubs ninyo, nagpapatakbo ay pera ng parents, and ang directions ng parents is we must win at all cost. Kung ikaw ang grassroots coach niyan, bigyan niyo ako ng magandang player para manalo. Kasi pag hindi mo napanalo at magagaling ang player mo, ligwak ka dyan sigurado. Diba? So, yun din ang bago kayo mag-start sa grassroots coaching, alamin niyo muna kung sino yung makakasalamuhan nyo na higher ups, meaning parents na gumagastos nung pagpapakamp mo, at the same time, ni principal ng school or hawak ka ng sinong politician. Yun ang kailangan mong strategy. Paano ka makikipag relationship sang maayos yun. Kasi hindi lang yan, kahit magaling ka mag-coach, magturo, pero kung mahina ka mag-communicate, sabihin natin makipolitika sa
yung
mga...
let's say, yung mag-PR.
Mag-PR, o yan. mag-PR dyan sa mga sa politician o mahawak ng team mo. Kahit sa grassroots kasi meron ng ganyan eh. And especially sa parents, mahihirapan kami. You end up frustrated, kawawa yung mga bata. Kasi minsan, ina-abandon ship nung coach na sinasabi. So, yun lang, coach, for me.
Okay, so before i-tackle yung mga points nyo, I would like to give a shout out to that coach. Sorry if di ko ma-recall yung name mo, coach, or yung name ng podcast mo, pero we totally agree. The three of us, we totally agree with your points about winning. Your take on winning sa grassroots level. So, sa sinabi niyo, Coach Mark and Coach Nuki, I highly agree. Talaga. Most especially yung sinabi mong it's a very crucial point kasi I've read this post and I've been hearing this phrase a lot pagdating na sa high school level. Before we get to that, if a certain player makes a mistake or a bad read on the court, on practice, ang usually ang sasabihin ng isang coach, sino bang coach mo ng elementary? Sino bang coach mo ng grassroots? So, yun nga, ulitin ko dun sa sinabing na crucial because it's going to be a domino effect. If naging effective ka sa pagko-coach in the grassroots, I would say, besides dun sa pagde-develop ng attitude ng player, etc., that should be the bare minimum, to be honest. So for me, besides the developing their attitude, character, values, yun, once na-develop na yung skills nila, or if there's a coach that aims for growth on their skills on and off the court, which or machi-check talaga na, okay, this grassroots coach or this elementary coach has done a good job. Kasi, okay, marunong siya mag-layup, kaya niya mag-left layup, kaya niya mag-cut, kaya niya mag-relocate, kaya niya mag-move without the ball because we can say or napapanood natin sa YouTube, on Facebook, or anything online, kids in the States or kahit in Europe per se, kaya nila mag-move or mag-relocate with or without the ball. So, yun, makita natin yung magandang translation pag-move nila to the high school level. So, I have mad respect for coaches in the grassroots or elementary level who gives all their time, all their effort, their intent, etc. just to develop these players, help them grow inside and outside of the court. So yun, siguro we're good with the grassroots. May gusto pa kayo, coaches, i-add?
Dagdag ko lang din na yan, tama yung sinabi mo. Not only mad respect but I think sa tatlong levels na pinag-uusapan natin, I think the most difficult is the grassroots level. Not everyone has the patience
I agree.
for coaching little children. Yung mga ages, sa amin kasi 4 pataas.
4 to 12.
4 to 12 years old. Yung 4 years old, imagine ninyo yung pag nagsa-summer camp tayo, yung may alpha male dyan, punta na tayo dun sa canteen, wag na tayo mag-dribble, di ba? So, not everyone can coach in the grassroots. So, yeah, mad respect for coaches who stick with it and produce not only skilled players but also players with good attitude.
Yun. So, dagdag ko din kay Coach Mark. So, yung gustong coaches na yung ma-experience yung ganon, I will give it to you for free. Just message us.
Yeah.
Join kayo sa Ateneo Basketball Camp. Nag-advertise pa, no?
Yeah,
Ateneo Basketball Camp, malapit na June yung start namin para ma-experience yung sinasabi ni Coach Mark na from 4 years old ni dito, nakahiwa-hiwalay yan na courts. We have 4 courts here sa Ateneo. Nakahiwa-hiwalay yan. Yun, ma-experience yung kung paano magturo ng 4 years old. Yun yung sinasabing talagang legit na crispy, clear na grassroots talaga. 4 years old yung tinuturo mo. Yun yung daily, tapos araw-araw,
Monday.
for the whole month, isang month kayo magsasama-sama noon. Ewan ko na lang, pero invited ko kayo, pumunta kayo dito. And yun na nga sabi ni Coach Mark nung introduction namin, valid naman yung sinasabi namin kasi na-experience na namin yan pagdating sa mga ganyan.
Hindi namin sinasabi na hindi namin ginagawa. Tinatakasan namin. We enjoy doing it, but it's not something that you would enjoy doing every day. There's a lot of challenges with it.
I mean, siguro may certain individuals na nagfi-fit on the grassroots level. There are certain individuals. And I'm confident to say na I'm not one of them. In terms of Sa pag-handle ng mga at that level. I mean, na-experience ko na rin.
Shout out to Coach Gigi, Katoliko.
Coach Gigi is
Coach
one
Gigi.
of the best grassroots.
Yes, that's the
In
best.
fairness.
Partida pa yan, wala pang family yan and mga anak pero galing niyang humawak ng mga bata na 4 years old. Siya yung specialty namin doon sa division na yon.
Shout out kay Coach Gigi sa Cebu.
Yeah.
Baka naman, Coach.
Sacred heart na. Okay, so now that we're settled in, napag-usapan na natin yung grassroots. So yun, siguro ito isa to sa mga very interesting ano naman na divisions or topics. So, how can we say that a coach has done a good job, good or great job under the high school to collegiate level? Medyo very broad to eh. Kasi before pa nagkaroon ng senior high school, there's only one division for high school. But now, there are leagues na naghawak na ng juniors division, senior high, ang iba naman under 17, under 19.
May pasarel pa yan.
Ay, may passerelle pa for some reason sa high school level. Siguro, let's talk about high school first before we dive into college. Siguro, Coach Mark.
I think I'll start with this topic kasi at least ako na-experience ko talaga firsthand coaching a high school team. Well, here in Ateneo, Dinaga, I wasn't really part of the junior high school, but since you're part of the one basic education unit, I was the head coach of the senior high school basketball team. So, alangan naman kasing senior high lang. Diba? So,
Iba coach both women and men, no? Na high
yes,
school.
women and men.
Yeah.
Iba yung challenges kasi. Before I assumed the head coaching job sa senior high school men, ako yung coach ng women. So, naging associate coach ko si Coach Gab nung men na yung hawak namin. And one of the most difficult things in the high school level really is what school you're part of. Let's talk about standards here. Maraming textures kasi yung like pag summer, di na yan part ng school, so mga summer leagues. So these are athletes na ages from junior high school to senior high school na nagkaka-team. Diba? And there's not much organization kasi these athletes just want to play the game. But when we talk about student athletes, sinabi natin student athletes na sa school mismo, part of the school. You have to play the school game here. Tinatawag natin. Kasi may culture ang mga schools. Yeah. I'm not going to delve into anything, but there are some schools na medyo laissez-faire pagdating sa academics kasi they have a separate schedule for student athletes. We have schools that are conservative with academics na kahit hindi ka lang magpagupit ng maayos, tatanggalin ka sa program, di ba? Pero mayroon tayong mga scenarios. But yeah, based on my experiences, that's one thing. So, if you cannot immerse in the school culture first, I think it's going to be very difficult. Kasi, sino ba yung magsusupport sa'yo? Siguro kung philanthropist ka or may someone's backing you, like big time,
Like
a big person backing you.
may mga major sponsors.
Yeah, exactly. You can have more freedom to organize your team. Like, you can send them to, di ba, alam ko yung mga other schools na kakilala nating coaches, pag nagkikwento sila, yung mga players natin, papadali natin sa Singapore, ganyan, di ba? So, yes, some teams are fortunate enough, pero sa atin kasi, especially when the school backs you up and the school has not much to go around in terms of budget. You have to be very observant about that. Secondly, ito kasi yung isa din sa mga hindi din natatakel is coaches na part ng school mismo. I mean, employee, di ba?
Yeah.
Like, when I was in the senior high school, I was a teacher with my license. Versus coaches na kinuha lang ng school, parang sub.
Yeah.
Di ba? So, there are DepEd games.
Yeah.
You know, like, if you're not part of the school,
For everyone, for context lang siguro, like ni Coach Mark, if you're not employed within the school or hindi ka regular employee, and if may, let's say, palarong panglungsod, city meet, or mga provincial meets, in the eyes of DepEd or mga organizers, you are not the coach.
Yes.
Ang safest,
Trainer. Di ba?
yeah, trainer ka.
Trainer.
Yun ang label sa, you're a trainer, but you're not the coach.
Exactly.
Anyway, sorry Coach.
So, yeah, thank you for that, Coach Gab. So, sa high school yan, yung isa, yung sa school. Pangalawa, since ini-expect mo na may skills na yung bata, you try to make most out of the skills you have. Especially, ang nakuha mong players is second or third stringers kasi yung mga 5-star recruits na tinatawag natin, nakuha na ng mga big schools.
Mhm.
So, that's another conversation to be had. So it's a matter of playing the skills game, like skills approach, kasi mga individually skilled yung mga players, di mo kailangan masyadong pahirapan yung set plays, yung defenses, mga athletic versus yung pwede ko bang sabing low budget teams? Mga budget meal teams.
Ano kayang medyo friendly na term? Not really low.
Kasi but that's really the reality, right?
Sige, let's use that term. Low budget.
Low budget,
Air quotes. May air quotes yan Low budget.
Low budget team. Hindi naman namin sinasabi na dapat high budget lahat, di ba? Kasi kung you can't give what you don't have naman.
You can only work what you have.
So, yung mga nasa low budget teams, it's more of preparation, di ba? And not only preparation, but also trying to make, para sa akin, my experience was, you need to lie to the players to make them believe that they are as good as the best players. And which is the most difficult thing to do. Kasi ang mga iba dyan, matagal na naglalaro, and mga savvy na din mag-iisip. So, di mo sila basta-basta mapapaniwala sa mga sinasabi. In short, how can you make them buy in the system sa high school? I was fortunate enough to have, when I coached sa women's kasi, I was fortunate enough to have good players, sila Ishi, di ba? Sila Cheska, sila Danica. Kasi before sila nabigay sa akin, may sense of inspiration to play the game. Na undervalued talaga yung mga babae sa basketball. So, they had that chip on their shoulder. But pagdating sa men's basketball, different. Kasi andun yung gusto, andun yung machismo nila na, okay, we're men at this age, we want to play at this level of game. Siguro, kung wala si Coach Gab nung time na yun, strength and conditioning, which, di ba Coach Nooks yung pinag-uusapan natin? Hindi ko alam, tandaan mo yun na sa high school game, it's more of a running game.
Yeah.
Parang marathon siya. As opposed to college na it's not only running but may sets na kasi tayong ina-apply.
Especially dito sa provincial level. More on running talagang high school.
Yeah.
But you want to improve on that. But really, that's what happens. Kasi, yun nga yung sinasabi ng mga coaches. What is the best offense? Okay? Is to play defense, make the opponent turn the ball over. Na-steal nyo yung bola, one of your players gonna leak to the other court, is going to get the go-ahead pass, then go-ahead basket. Diba yung pinakamadaling offense? So, yan yung para sa akin sa high school. Okay? Diba yung una, you have to make them believe in the system, then the nuances of how to coach. So how can I say na you've done a great job in your stint as a high school coach? Para sa akin, two things. One is if you are able to send some of your players, medyo unpopular opinion ito maybe you've sent some of your players na second sa low budget team, second, third stringers before na develop mo sa program mo to college programs. That's one. And two, you were able to inspire these players kahit hindi na sila varsity to still play at a high level in outside leagues even after playing a competitive game sa high school. Kasi not everyone is cut for college. Let's establish that.
That's true.
Kasi sabi ko nga kanina, di ba? Anyone can play the game and love the game, but not everyone can compete at the highest level. Pagdating naman sa college, I think what makes a college coach a good college coach is it's more about being a good example
To the players.
to players. So, syempre, it would translate to a coach's attitude to the game and how he approaches preparation and games. Not only that, kasi pag student athlete ka, again, iba na naman yan. Yung good example na siniset mo, syempre, mahihiya yung mga players mo na magloko or incidents na tinatawag natin that would endanger the program. So, not only that, pero I think ang question kasing kailangan natin ditong sagutin pagdating sa college is or are records, di ba?
Yes.
So, does records matter? So, I'm just going to throw the question out there for the rest of the two coaches to answer. Does record matter? Kasi when we talk about records naman, record, dalawang bagay yan. Record against all competitions you play against and record versus a particular rival na kinoconsider lahat na top team. Diba? So, I'll go with that. But to end my opinion on this, I don't believe that winning doesn't matter. Winning still matters.
Exactly.
Diba? And we cannot sugarcoat winning in the college level with the level of players that you were able to make it after basketball. Diba? Kahit pa sabihin natin na lahat ng players mo naging successful, graduate, whatever, but you still didn't win, diba? It's just like trying to talk about the GOAT debate, right? It's some form of victory, but it's not all about that.
Yeah.
Kasi, para saan yung competition? Ay, okay lang na di nanalo kasi nanalo naman kami sa buhay. Come on, diba? It's such, as a competitive person, I just wouldn't buy that. Okay lang na natalo tayo, guys. At least, pag-graduate kayo, you'll get good jobs, di ba? Tapos you're trying to throw sticks on the shadows na parang sinasabi mo na yung ibang schools, di ba? Parang naman, unfair naman kung ganun, di ba? So, yan, I think winning still matters because it's not only about winning, but imparting a winning culture to players, di ba? How is it, tinanong ko yung team natin before, do you want to be a winner in life? What is a winning culture? How can you do that? Di mo nga napapanalo yung competitions, di ba? But at least you put yourself in that. So, yan, na ako, masyado madami yung sinasabi ko.
Si Coach Gab muna siguro para pang closing ako dito sa ano.
Sure, Coach. Yeah, thank you, Coach Mark. A very hot take yung mga sinabi mo, or should we say hot cake?
Hindi yun garbage. Ano yun?
Yeah. Very yun. So, yun. Sige, napaisip ko sa sinabi ni Coach Mark
About winning?
Yeah. I was about to throw the question. I mean, for me, you have to, you still have to win at the end of the day. Besides developing your players, besides developing their skills, their IQ, EQ, their attitude, values inside the court, outside, blah, blah, blah. And nandyan pa rin at the end of the day, tatanungin lang kayo ng mga tao, nanalo ba kayo? So, or tatanungin ka, let's say a coach, tatanungin ka ng mga subordinates mo or mga family members mo, nanalo ba kayo? Nanalo ba kayo? I mean, winning still matters. Winning still matters. So
is it not about the individual awards? Tingin mo?
Like,
your team was bad in college pero you were the best player in that team?
Not only in the team, siguro baka ikaw pa yung MVP nung liga, di ba? Meron kami niyan.
Ibang na yan. Mukhang
perhaps on a
different episode. But again, I would think winning still matters. You cannot really say that a coach has done a good job sa high school level and even sa college. Would you say that a coach has done a good job with a 1-8 record? Pero mo sa isang coach na let's say
8-1.
8-1. would you say that this is a good coach? Kasi, yun nga, let's say, mabait naman yung mga players, that they're succeeding in life. Those stuff. Yung na-mention ni Coach.
Paano yung low budget? Punta ko kanina yung low budget teams, tapos yung teams na school-based na they can afford to have scholars. May pagkakaiba ba sa pagiging good coach sa isang low budget team versus sa coach na may mga skilled na players and still winning it like that? Does that discredit their record?
We still have to put into context kung sino yung coach na yun. Kasi we know some coaches that can work with low budget teams. They do what they can with what they have. So,
Diskarte lang yan.
diskarte lang yan. I mean,
Mamaya, mag-advise ako.
sige coach. You can really win or you can really compete with a low budget team. Low budget team. If you put in the time, you put in the work, you put everything on the table, kayang-kaya mo talaga mag-compete. Kung i-compare mo naman sa isang coach na with a high budget
High budget team
team
with 5-star recruits.
with 5-star recruits.
Talagang mga physical specimen, mga technically skilled players, yung mga pinaka best of the best.
Diyan rin, depende pa rin. I cannot say a specific answer kasi we'll never know na okay naman pala tong coach ito. He is graceful when it comes to X and O's, pagdating sa training. Pero there are some coaches out there na okay, kahit ganito akong coach right now, I have these types of players, I can win. So, depende. Depende talaga sa situation, depende rin sa context. But for me, ulitin ko, winning still matters besides developing our players. At yung sinabi ni Coach Mark na may maangat tayong players sa college. So, siguro, Coach Nuki, anong ma-share mo for high school and college?
Sulat na talaga ako. Hindi naman about winning ang topic talaga natin eh.
Yeah.
Ang topic natin is how can you consider you're done a good job or you're a good coach. Kanina in the grassroots level, ngayon naman in the high school level, in the college level. So, yung mga sinabi ni Coach Mark sa ni Coach Gab, I all agree. Dadagdagan ko na lang siguro kaya nagno-note ako dito. Sabi ko, ako magko-closing nito para at least ma-summarize namin yung mga pinagsasabi namin na lahat. So yun, bago ko syempre sa akin coaches, paano magsimula? Kasi yun yung naka-experience na kasi ako niyang coaches. This DepEd teacher in elementary, may isa pa high school. Paano ba coach mag-start? Wala naman support, wala naman budget, ganyan. Tapos abunado pa ako. Mga ganun na bagay. So, dalawang bagay din. Are you in the province or are you in Manila? Pag nasa Manila ka, syempre, you have to establish connection. Mas madali maging magaling na coach doon kasi madaming mga seminars, madaming open practices na you can attend and you can ask the coaches. Yun yung doon. Syempre, si YouTube, palagi na nandyan yan, diskarte nyo na lang yan. Kung nasa province ka, I think mas doble yung hirap na mag-coach. And end of the day, pinagsabi ko na to kanina, ano yung purpose mo? Kung bakit ka magko-coach? Tanungin mo yung sarili mo bago ka magsimula. Pangalawa, aralin mo yung ano bang sistema meron yung school. Kasi meron akong kakilala na supported sila na sumali sa liga pero walang budget. Ang kaya lang ng school is pa-uniform pero pa-entry fee hindi. Tapos pamasahe pa, pagkain pa. Ano gagawin mo? Yun ang sinabi ko kanina ni Coach Gab, paano? Dadating yun sa paano mag-start. Siyempre, pakapala na din yan ng mukha. Hingi ka ng sponsorship sa mga tropa mo. Alamin mo dun sa yung mga alumni ng mga big time na dito sa school. Hihingan mo na ng tulong yan. But before that, siyempre, ikaw bilang coach, dapat credible ka. Hindi ka pwedeng kukupal-kupal dyan or may masama kang ugali. Diba? Sa example, kung naglalaro ka, dapat mabait ka maglaro, hindi yung salbahe ka kasi nagko-coach ka. Pag nakita yan ng live stream, pati yung magdodonor sa iyo, hindi ka na mabibigyan kasi nga, masama ugali mo. Then, it boils down na dapat, pag coach ka, you have to be a good example. Ganun lang yung gusto kong sabihin. Lalo kung nagko-coach ka sa high school and sa college level. Pero, being said, iba-ibang level yan. Kung ang kino-coach mo na high school and college level is funded well by your school, ay, winning is important. Walang dapat gawin dyan para dapat manalo ka kasi ginagastusan ka ng school. Pati yung sweldo mo, yung bus nyo, lahat galing sa school or benefactor na kung si MVP, si RSA, kung sino pa yan, Jukes to go, dapat manalo ka talaga. Walang ipinag-uusapan dyan ng better person ng pag-uugali ng player mo. Dapat manalo ka. Yan yung ano niya. Pag hindi ka nanalo, you have to be thrown out on the bus. Yun lang yung pinag-usapan niya. Pero, kung ang purpose mo mag-coach ka sa maliit na school, like sinabi natin, BPA University, mga dyan San Vicente High School, mga ganon, yun, alamin mo ang purpose mo sa pag-coach mo. Gusto mo makatulong sa bata, di ba? Kung ganon. O yun nga, kailangan mong simulan. At pag nagsisimula ka, magsasakripisyo ka ng oras. Yun lang yun, pag-uugali mo. Kasi kung masama yung ugali mo nga, baguhin mo yan kasi tinitignan ka ng mga bata. Yun lang yung gusto kong sabihin. Next is low budget. Ay, nadaanan ko na ata. Low budget versus no budget. Yung diskarte lang yan, sinasabi ko. Diskarte lang.
No budget.
Then at the same,
low budget.
low budget and no, budget.
budget.
Di ba?
Okay.
Low and no budget. Mahirap yun, lalo
Mas
kung
malala
no.
pala yung coach.
Oo. Nag-minding nga ako nung nakaraan kasi na-inspire ako dun sa yung sa Alabama coach ngayon na nasa Final Four.
Yung former math teacher.
Yes.
Former math teacher.
Nagbebenta ng ng mga Cheetos and kung ano-ano pa para pang fund nila dun sa college team o high school team niya. O tapos ngayon, look at him now, nasa Final Four ng prestigious league na USNCAA. So saan ka pa, di ba? Yun yung sinasabi kong sakripisyo na gagawin mo. Hindi pwedeng gusto mo mag-coach dyan, gusto mo agad manalo. Hindi ganun. Di ba? So yun, number 3, how to make them buy in the system. Sabi mo kay Coach Mark, gusto ko lang i-elaborate. Kahit mahina ka mag-coach, promise, kahit mahina ka mag-coach, lahat naman natututunan eh.
Na-improve yan.
Yan din sinasabi sa amin ng mga sikat na coaches sa Manila. Na-improve naman ang IQ. Maging masipag ka lang. Pag tatamad-tamad ka, mukhang hindi para sa iyo itong coaching. Kasi ang dami ng resources ngayon, lalo sa YouTube.
Yeah.
Maging matalino ka lang kung paano ka mag-research, dapat akma doon kung anong merong player ka. Huwag mong gawin kung monkey see, monkey do. Ano yung nakita mo? Gagawin mo din. Di ba? No yun. No yun. At the end of the day, kung good job ba, depende pa rin kung sa principal mo, sa umahawak sa'yo. So, sabi nga ni Coach Mark, dapat manalo. Agree din ako. Kasi nagpapagod ka na din, ba't di pa manalo, di ba? And in my principle, yung bata na tinuturuan ko, naka-default setting na yan na dapat mag-aral ka, dapat mag-graduate ka. Hindi ko na yung pwedeng ipagmayabang sa kahit sino pang Poncio Pilato dyan na, okay lang, hindi kami nanalo. Basta, ayan, nakapagtapos yan, hindi ko kailangan ipagmayabang yan. Kasi, hanggang nagko-coach ako, yan yung default setting na ginagawa namin. Nandun na yon. Nagpa-practice kami, nagsasakripisyo kami, nag-practice pa nga kami even before ng 4 a.m. kasi gusto naming manalo. Hindi pwedeng hindi manalo kasi nagpapagod na nga rin kami. And winning dictates culture for me. Winning establish the person, the team, kung ano yung pwedeng itingin sa'yo na kahit hindi ka magsalita dahil nananalo ka, marami kang connection. Nag-uusap na rin tayo sa connection. Magiging maraming connections mo kahit hindi ka nagsasalita kasi lagi kang nananalo. Yun lang yun. So, paano, coach, kung hindi manalo? Ang pangalawa dyan na sagot ko, basta lumalabang kayo, patay kung patay dito, kaso end result, medyo minalas lang ba, then, for me, it's a winning also. Pero, hindi mo pwedeng ipa-voice out pa rin sa buong mundo na, okay lang, di kami lumaban naman. Hindi, talo. Panalo, di ba? Ganun lang yon. So, again, grassroots iba ang concept ng pag-coaching sa grassroots and sa high school and college, depende kung may backer ka o wala. Pero pag wala, expect mo na mahina yung team mo, fokusan mo na lang na pagalingin yung pag-uugali, ang disiplina ng mga player mo. Malay mo, nagtanim ka ngayon, mag-coach ulit sila dun sa school na tino-coach mo ngayon, pag tumanda ka, mapa-champion nila, at least nakapaglagay ka ng legacy. Diba? Hindi na natin pag-uusapan kung may diploma yan o wala. Kasi winning ang topic natin. So, I think for that, you have a good job. Binigyan ko kayo ng option paano maging good job sa iba-ibang bagay na pwedeng maintindihan ng iba-ibang pag-iisip ng tao, mayaman, mahirap man, about winning. Hila.
I think, Coach, dun sa sinabi mo, one thing na nakalimutan natin sabihin is, kasi para sa atin, this is non-negotiable for coaches. One non-negotiable attitude and something that's the responsibility of a coach is to make this person a better person when he or she first step inside your gym. So I always believe na how can you, the question always resonates on my mind. Sinasabing, how can you make the world a better world?
Better place.
A better place. And I sort of apply that to coaching sa high school, sa college. They make better persons.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that di pinag-uusapan sa atin kasi para sa atin, natural na yun.
Yeah.
Diba? Like, kahit di ko sabihin, we know as colleagues, as coaches, na we have the responsibility to make better persons.
I mean, yung sinasabing that's the bare minimum. I mean, it comes with the job when you're coaching. Besides the why, etc. Isa yan sa mga pinaka-importante when you coach.
Yeah, and baka kasi sabihin ng ibang tao na, coach, di ba, minsan may mga katarantaduhan ka din sa buhay. Parang ganun yung sinasabi.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's one difficult part in that. And I also teach that in the classroom na dapat may cognitive consistency ka. You should practice what you should preach or what you're preaching. Well, mamali naman yung mamali naman talaga. Wala namang perfect na tao. But at the end of the day is how were you able to make the situation a better situation as compared to how it was yesterday. Not only making it the same thing as today, di ba? Like, nakakita ka ng puno or ng puno pa rin siya. Wala kang ginawa. Di mo diniligan, di mo kinunso. That's our job as coaches. Kahit pa di naman tayo perfect, but we try to make the best of our abilities, being responsible people. Make better persons. Wala naman nga perfectong tao.
Okay. Ganyan, Coach? Coaches?
Good.
Good. Very insightful takes and opinions sa high school and college level. Moving forward to our last topic or itatakal natin na division, which is the semi-pro and professional. Di man siguro mabilis. Pero
Medyo mabilis to.
medyo mabilis. Professional, I mean. I myself would say na before we talk about it, sabi ko na marami ng professional leagues ngayon compared before. Before kasi pag sinabi nating professional basketball in the Philippine setting, nisip natin PBA. And fortunate enough, meron tayong kasama dito na nag-work sa PBA. For how many years, Coach?
1 decade.
1 decade. Besides PBA, now, marami na. Meron tayong MPBL, PSL, NBL,
MPBA.
Okay. So that's 4 professional leagues. So doon sa 4 na leagues yun, marami dyan coaches. Para sa inyo, Coach Nuki, Coach Mark, how can we say that a coach dun sa mga specific leagues na yun
He's done a good job.
has done a good job?
Yun, same lang naman nung kanina, nung introduction ko na paano ka magsimula mag-coach sa high school and college. Sabi ko nga, pag supported ka ng school, tapos ang nila manalo, ganun din yun lalo na sa semi-pro at pro na well-funded, well-budgeted. Kung ako naman yung businessman na nagsusupport dyan sa team na yan, di naman ako dyan magbabalagay ng pera para lang matalo. There's a process, depende sa mindsetting ng team owner. How can he accept losing for 1 season, 2 seasons, and 3 seasons. Sometimes, like, si Coach Tim Kun, the greatest Filipino basketball coach, he started losing sa San Mig Coffee before he went to the Grand Slam. Some are bad losses, nandun pa ako sa PBA noon. Some are bad losses during that time. So siguro ganun talaga So hopefully yung team owner na nagbabudget sa inyo kayang tiisin, and ikaw naman as a coach, pinapakita mo talaga na talagang todo bigay ka. You're trying your best, and at the same time, you have to be professional. Hindi mo naman kontrolado yan lahat. Lalo kung matatanggal ka dyan dahil natatalo ka, you have to accept it and you move forward. And those negative energy will not help you kapag lagi mo pa din pinag-iisip ang excuses bakit ka natanggal. Natatalo nga Kailangan ng winning kasi nga, yun yung perspective ng manager or na nagbabudget sa inyo. So, I think, to answer if you've done a good job, medyo mahirap sabihin pagdating sa semi-pro at sa pro na nakadevelop ka ng pag-uugali na maganda na disiplina. Medyo iba na yung usapan pagdating dyan pagdating dyan, kailangan yung experience mo na, yung composure mo sa game, yung professionalism mo to be on time, on practice, on the games. And siyempre, yung sabi nga Coach Gab kanina, yung PR mo dun sa mga boss mo para at least yung relationship mo maayos sa kanila na you work hand in hand together para then at the same time you have to be professional all the time. And sabi nga ng ibang great coaches na kaibigan natin, be you. Kung ano ka, yun ka din dapat mag-coach. Walang exemption porket superstar ito, ganyan-ganyan. Ganun. And at the same time, matalo ka man at matanggal ka, at least you've given your best. So, walang sayang, di ba? Binigay mo yung lahat, kaso nga lang, nag-iba na ng direction yung team owner. You have to be professional, natanggapin yun, and you move forward. Better regroup yourself and find another job again. And try again. Ganun lang yun.
So for me, as nakasama tayo Coach Nuki sa one season sa Camsur Express.
Yeah.
Pero hindi pa siya hindi pa siya considered as a pro team. Hindi pa
Semi-pro.
Semi-pro pa siya that time nung season 2. For me na lang to make it short. Para masabi mo talaga a coach has done a good job. You have to win championships and you have to deliver. That's about it. If titignan natin in the NBA level, as in yung we consider it as one of the top leagues in the world, ang pinag-uusapan pa rin dyan na coaches ay yung mga records. Yung ilang napanalo mong wins or ilang napanalo mo, ilan yung championship sa bigay mo sa organization na yun. Same here sa Philippine setting. It's a big factor. Ang championships, your records, the way you deliver, and yung wins mo.
Well, ako kasi, have I been part of a
Counted bang AK?
AKB, di ba?
Semi. Okay.
So, ako Bicol. Ako Bicol.
Pro yun.
Pro.
Pro yung it's a very good league na binigay sa atin ni Ako Bicol. So, shout out sa mga organizers ng liga. Kasi until ngayon, it's still running. Well, on my part, one thing is, of course, records. And sa tingin ko, it's not about how many times got to the final. Semis kayo. Kasi that doesn't matter kung di mo makukuha yung coveted prize, which is the champ. Yeah, I all agree with you. But at the same time, I was thinking while sabi mo kasi coach, di ba, yung owner, yung relationship mo sa owner, yung team manager, naisip ko din na, can we really blame the team owner, for example, sunod-sunod yung talo mo sa seasons, tapos, we know that at this level, well, siguro, to be conservative, pero hindi ko sinasabi na hindi to nangyayari sa ibang levels, like grassroots and high school or collegiate. Pero at this level kasi, it's safe to assume that basketball at this level is played not only on the court, but also in the sheets, meaning yung business aspect ng game, di ba, coach? So, how can we really blame the owners placing coaches or players pag hindi successful yung teams? So, coach,
ibang landscape kasi coach yung mga liga natin dito sa Pilipinas compared sa EuroLeague and NBA na hindi masyadong mapolitika, di ba? So, ibang kulturang mga liga natin dito. I do not want to dwell with the negatives.
Well, we can only speak for ourselves naman.
Yes.
Like from our experience.
Di naman natin, we can't speak for EuroLeague and NBA, but here's a level natin.
Sa level natin, you have to play the PR and politics and everything. Kasi yun, sa PBA, halata mo naman kung sino lang yung magagaling na teams Pero sobrang very good mo, sobrang kakabilib kang coach kung wala ka doon sa dalawang big teams. Alam nyo na kung ano yun. Tapos mapapa-champion mo. Magaling ka talaga kasi with the kind of player that you have, na umasa ka lang dun sa drafting and paminsan-minsan, mga pa-trade konti-konti, pero napa-champion mo pa rin. Kahit may pasok mo lang sa finals, sobrang malaking achievement na yun, di ba? Ganun yun dun sa liga sa PBA. Sa other leagues naman, siguro sa akin tatagal ka kung ang nagpipili ng players yung team owner. You are there to coach only. So, wala kang kasalanan kung matalo. Pero kung ikaw yung pumili ng player, nag-coach ka, natalo, may paglalagyan ka. Yun yung mahirap. So, siguro, yun yung ibang category din, no? Yung team owner, na siya yung gusto niyang pumili ng player kung sinong gusto niya, and you are there to coach. Kaso nga lang, pag natalo, medyo may chance kang hindi matanggal kasi pwede mo naman i-reason out na hindi ko naman kasi po ito boss ang sistema ng player na gusto ko Gusto ko running game, binigyan mo ako ng mga big man. Sasabihin ng boss, yung gusto ko mga player. O di baka magkaroon ka pa ng isang chance na kaysa pang season. O sige, try natin yung gusto mo. Get your own player na gusto mo na dyan sa sistema mo. Pag yan hindi pa rin naging successful, sigurado ka na. Babay ka. Diba? Ganun lang yun kasimple. So, yan yung sinasabi kong equation na dalawa. Pero, tulad nung sa mga sikat na team sa PB, pumasok ka dyan na malakas na yung team talaga, you are there to coach and to win. Ganun lang yun, kasimple. Kailangan mo, pag hindi mo napamanalo 1 or 2 conference, goodbye ka na. Ganun lang kasimple.
Again, the business aspect of
Yeah.
basket. How about coach yung kasi napag-usapan natin sa collegiate yung like kailangan mong i-form yung players to be good people. Does that really still matter in the semi-pro and pro level? Na parang kasi sa atin sa college, 'di ba?
Big deal ang...
Oo, syempre big deal 'yan. We try to tell our players finish your studies after basketball kasi not every time or not all the time you'll be blessed to play basketball in the highest of competitions. So, nagmamatter ba coach na sa semi-pro at pro na i-develop mo din yung principles, value, attitude ng players, or would that be too much of a hassle kasi imbis na nagfo-focus ka sa X and O's, yung scouting, di ba? Tanggalin na lang natin yung pasakit ng ulo natin. Tanggalin natin.
Trade natin.
Palitan natin ng magaling, di ba, coach? Parang ganun yan. What's your opinion, coach? Kasi ikaw, you've been in the PBA and siguro you've seen these kinds of things. It would be refreshing to hear it from someone who has been in that league.
Well, systematically wise, kailangan Ibig ko sabihin sistema. Ano ba yung sistema na nyo? Na offense nyo, defense nyo, mayhem ba yung defense nyo like Coach Ayo? Pre, yung attitude ng player, kailangan mo ding i-develop. The beauty of the game now in coaching, madami ka ng assistant coaches Parang American football, pwedeng isang coach pumukus dun sa offense, yung isa naman, pumukus ka naman sa defense, tapos mag-report kayo sa akin. Tapos ako naman yung magme-mentor dun sa parang ako yung pinaka-lion of the team, na pag nagsalita ako, makikinig lahat kung ano yung gusto natin gawin. So I think, yes, coach, na pwede natin i-instill sa kanila kung attitude, character ba ang pwede nating ipa-implement sa team na kapag pag itong team na to ay palaban to, mga ganito to, wala tong lalaban to, mga ganon. Or itong team na to, hindi masyado palakibo pero trabaho lang to ng trabaho, mga shooter yan, mga ganon. Siyempre, as a coach, part yun, tingin ko hindi dapat mawala yun kung magko-coach ka kahit sa pro ka na din, na mag-instill ka pa din ng your attitude. 'Di ba? Attitude ang pinaka-importante pag anong attitude level ba ang ginagawa natin? Do we tantrums pag matatalo na, or do we set aside it, don't focus on the negative, pero yung attitude natin is still fighting hanggang sa huli? I think pagdating sa ganun, pag na-instill mo yun sa player mo, nakikita nung team owner na ayos tong mga bata ko, kahit lamang na, kahit diado sa lineup, lumalaban pa din. I think you will win the hearts of your team owners or manager.
Another question, coach, kasi since we're talking about semi-pro and pro, does it hurt the case of coaches who've won, let's say, 8 to 11 championships, pero sa pro level, pero yung mga players niya are rated to be lahat, di ba? Like all of them are rated to be all-stars, or they would start on the roster of other teams. Would that hurt a case of a coach who's won like, let's say, 8, 9 championships?
Depende. Yung sinasabi mo nga, coach, kahit yung pang 11 or 12 hanggang 15 players na pwede pang mag-first 5 sa kabilang team, di ba, coach?
Yung third 5 nila, first 5 sa ibang team.
Yung third stringer, yung third group, first 5 pa sa ibang. Ganun kalakas. So, ang tanong mo ko is, does hurt the reputation?
Yung parang legacy ng coach na nanalo ka lang naman kasi ganun yung players mo, di ba? Parang ganun.
I don't think so. Kasi hindi lang naman dun sa part na mapalaro mo sila dun sa sistema mo. That's number 1. Pero ang pinaka-importante dun, ma-earn mo yung trust, respect sa'yo. Di ba? As a coach. Kasi pag wala naman yan, hindi sila nag-buy-in dun sa system mo, lalo pa magagaling yan. How you parang Phil Jackson ba? Paano mo control yung mga ego niyan and set aside? I think dun naman yung legacy. Dun naman sa tingin ko yung legacy nung coach na yon, na mayroon na siyang sobrang gagaling na players na paano mo yun pag-i-assign? Lahat yung gusto mo score sigurado, lahat yun magtatampo pag mabawasan mo lang yung playing time niyan, magtatantrums yan kasi sanay yan before na lahat ng kung pwedeng hindi sila ilabas, hindi lalabas. So I think naman doon lalabas yung skill set ng coach kasi para sa akin skill set yun na paano mo i-handle yung mga egos ng mga players mo para mabuo mo yung goal ninyo to buy into the system, which is manalo tayo, winning, 'di ba? So yun yun naman yung binabayaran na legacy doon.
If I may add, I mean, di natin pwede i-blame yung coach or we cannot say anything negatively about it kung ganun talagang naging stacked yung roster niya. Most especially if di natin alam what's happening behind the scenes. Like the Coach Nuki said, malay mo, yung team owner may kakagusto niyan, team manager. And second, yung reiterate ko yung sinabi ni Coach Nuki, yung it's how you manage all of those egos, yung from the first top player to the 15th top player pa rin. Tataas ang egos niyan. So, you really have to juggle all those egos, those attitudes. Sabi lang tuloy natin na one prime example, Coach K, sa Redeem Team. Coach K. I mean, paano niya na-handle all those egos with LeBron James, Kobe, Dwayne Wade, tama ko siya dun pa, and other all-stars at their peak.
Pero singit ko lang, Coach Cam. Napapansin ko din pagdating sa mga ganyan, normally yung mga coaches, may mga edad na eh. At they're 50 plus, 60 plus na yung mga ganyan. Parang nagiging default setting yung respect pag matanda yung nagko-coach na, they have the perception na grabe ng experience ito kaysa doon sa mga young guns pa lang na isipin mo kung yun na sabihin natin like the San Miguel team, ang edad mo is between 35 to 45 years old. Ikaw ang mag-handle nun. I don't think so na magiging madali or wala naman madali pero I think yung respeto na naka-default na pag nakita mo this one, medyo may mga wrinkles na over this one na
yung buhok.
Fresh. Parang para sa akin, I don't know kung pareho tayo. Automatic yung respect ko dito eh. As a person lang pero I don't know kung anong coaching style meron siya, anong coaching records meron siya. Pero para sa akin, may respeto. Pero pag dito naman, tapos superstar ako na player, parang, coach ka, yes, I respect you. Pero, tignan natin, parang ganun muna, yung magiging mindset. Tignan natin paano ka mag-coach. Over dito sa may wrinkle na, kaya naman, alam naman, iba yung sabihin mo dyan. So, ganun. Parang sa tingin ko lang, yung trend is, kapag may mga ganyan dream team nga dito sa atin, yung San Miguel team na dami ng championship, parang ang umahawak sa kanila, yung may mga edad na talaga, at the same time, nagiging default setting yung respeto. So, we cannot talk about paano mag-coach yun, paano sa loob ng yun, kasi labas naman na tayo doon, discarding niya din yan. And effective naman kung pag-usapan yung sa San Miguel. So, yun lang sa tingin ko.
So, may gusto kang i-add, Coach Mark?
I think I'm done with.
You're good?
yeah, I'm good with the topic.
Ikaw, Coach Nox, may gusto kang i-add?
Masaya naman na pag-usap, na share yung mga knowledge na ganito from grassroots to di ba? So, okay na ako. Masaya.
So, naging fruitful yung discussion natin from the grassroots all the way to the professional level. So, I do hope each and every one of you listening or nakaupo sa sa upuan, sa couch, or nakahiga sa bed, I do hope na nag-enjoy kayo with our very, very fruitful and maraming hot takes or hot cakes na discussions and topics.
Sa pilot, in our pilot episode.
In our pilot episode. So, abangan nyo lang tuloy yung next episode namin. I do hope you guys follow, like and subscribe
yes.
our socials.
React.
And we would appreciate it kung may mga topics kayo na gustong namin pag-usapan.
Just comment.
You can comment that on the comment section.
May it be about basketball or pwede rin yung mga X and O's. So, either of the two. Feel free to comment, or message us.
Again, the reason why we did this is not to create this elitist environment na parang ito lang yung coaches na ito lang yung nagkakaintindihan. Hindi. We actually want to invite everyone to have a dialogue and to, just as a student of the game, sinasabi ko nga palagi, it's true that if you respect the game, the game will respect you back. What we often forget is no one owns the game. You can try to rebrand basketball into many different shapes and sizes. But at the end of the day, basketball is for everyone. Okay? So, hindi yan dahil may nauna sa'yo, siya na lang palagi. Hindi. If you really love basketball, if you're really passionate about it, then baka gaya ng ginagawa namin ngayon. We just agreed upon talking about these things, and hopefully this project of ours gets its due diligence in the future. So, yan.
Okay. So, yun. So this is Coach Gab De Vera. This is
Coach Mark.
Coach Nuki.
and we have Rain behind the camera, and we are the Garbage Points Podcast, and see you in the next episode.